Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Monday. It is the 30th of May 2022. Gonna look at the stakes races here on today's program from Belmont, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Make sure you join me Friday and Saturday for my Oaks and Derby preview, Saturday from Epsom in the UK. It's going to be an excellent weekend racing there, but today you have that New York Spring Showcase from Belmont, and you have quite a few stakes races to look at. So let's get to it right now. Races 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The second race, we're heading to the turf course. It's going to be a blistering warm day. It is the Mount Vernon Stakes. It's going for a purse of $125,000. Race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds, and upwards. New York breds. 6 horses are going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Widener turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in Mount Vernon. Portable rails are up today, I believe at 9 feet if I'm not mistaken. Top selection, I'm going to go with 3-horse She's the One. Let's go 3-6-1-2 in the superfecta. 3-6-1-2 super. Top selection, the 3-horse She's the One. This 4-year-old filly Macho Uno. Christophe Command trains. Trevor McCarthy gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 23rd of April at Aqueduct, 1 mile inner turf course, an optional 45 claimer, and the horse went by 3/4 length that day and basically broke well, tracked all the way around, quickened up nicely. Probably wasn't 100% cranked first off the bench, but she still got the job done. A very good race. They've taken her time with this horse. Finally come to stakes quality horses. Not the world's toughest stakes race. I think she could go a long way here today. 2 backs ran 3rd December at Aqueduct. 6 furlongs on a firm outer turf course and a state bred allowance 72,091X. And she won by 2 1/4 lengths that day. She sat back early but slowly moved her way up. When she got the turn of foot, she got the job done quite easily. I thought it was a very impressive victory for her there. And then the 6th of November at Belmont. 6 furlongs in her turf course and allowance race 80,000. She finished second by a head that day. She was just a little bit wide. And that was a little bit wide. It was an understatement. She was stupidly wide, but she was really closing up well late. A little bit of turn of foot, better turn of foot. She probably would have got the job done, but I've seen worse races for her. It was a definite improvement. And then before that, the 8th of October at Belmont, 6 furlongs in her turf, main special weight 75,000 for state breds, won by 1/2 lengths from a track position. She got the job done. Coming here back to Belmont, where she's run decently in the past, at 3-1, I think she's a likely winner. You can't throw out the 6-horse Classic Lady either. She's getting some serious class relief from some of her most recent races. She won the Ticonderoga here in November very nicely. Had a very good 3rd place finish in the Yaddo Handicap last summer at Saratoga, and won in the summer of 2020 at Belmont at Saratoga very nicely also. We'll give this horse a shot at 5-2 in the multi-race, but to recount my selection for the second from Belmont, it's Mount Vernon. Let's take the 3-horse She's the One. Give kudos to the 6-horse Classic Lady. 3-6-1-2 super. Let's go 3-6 in your multi-race. The 6th race from Belmont. It is the Critical Eye Handicap. It's a handicap going for a purse $20,000, race for $200,000, race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, state breds. 7 horses are going to the main track. The distance of ground here 1,600 meters, or the mile trip on the Belmont main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile main track. And it's Sunday night right now. I don't know if you could pick it up on the microphone, but they've been doing fireworks all night so far, and it's just going to go on the rest of the summer from now until Labor Day, or if it's like 2020, it went basically from April 2020 until like November 2020. Every night they were doing fireworks around here. But my top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse, Bank Sting. I'm going to go 4-1-7-2 in the superfecta. 4-1-7-2 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Bank Sting. 5-year-old mare by Central Banker. John Terranova Jr. trains one. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came against tough competition in the Ruffian at Belmont. Mighty Seal going a mile on the 8th of May, and the horse finished 4th by 9 3/4 lengths that day. And off the bench, the horse just needed the run, never quickened up, and just was very lackadaisical. Back to state breds, lesser quality horses. She's in a better spot to win. 2 backs ran the Heavenly Prize Invitational at Aqueduct, 1 mile on the 6th of March, and she won by a neck, and she stalked all the way down the racetrack. She got the lead. She was drifting, but she got the job done. A very good race there. And then the 2nd of January at Aqueduct, and the Lauber Dodd, 7 furlongs in the mud. She won by a neck. It was a very gummy racetrack, but she dug in to get the victory. A very game race for her there, earning an 86 by her. And then the New York Stallions at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs on the 5th of December. She won by 8 1/4 lengths from a tracking position. She won quite easily. She won this race quite easily last year on a muddy, gummy kind of track. You're going to see a very fast track, and I think she should do wonders here. 7-5, let's use her. Watch out for the one horse Secret Love. The late pick 5 begins with this race. At 10 to 1, it wouldn't surprise me if this horse wins and blows up that late pick 5. But John Kimball trains. John Velazquez gets the mount. Most recent race on the mud, the horse won quite easily. Then they took the horse 2 back on the turf, where the horse just wasn't handling it. If you take the turf efforts out, this horse hasn't run half bad at all. If there's a freak thunderstorm where the track becomes wet, this horse goes up a lot more also. She's 6 for 3 on a wet track. She runs these sneaky good races here at Belmont. She doesn't run against stakes quality horses very often, but when she does, she always shows up basically. At 10 to 1, training well, we'll give this horse a shot on the multis. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Belmont, it's the Critical Eye Handicap. Let's take the 4 horse Bank Sting. Give kudos to the 1 horse Secret Love. 4172 Super. 4-1 in your multi-race. The 7th race from Belmont, it is the Bouwerie Stakes. It's going for a purse of $125,000. Race for 3-year-old filly Statebreds. Field of 8 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Aqueduct main track, or excuse me, Belmont main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs here in the Bouwerie. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, November Rain. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 5 in the superfecta. 1, 2, 3, 5 super. Top selection of 1 horse, November Rain. There's 3-0 filly by Street Boss. Kelly Breen trains. Joel Rosario gets about 5 to 1. The horse is Mo Streets and Anakin, 24th of September at Belmont. Muddy but Herald going 7 furlongs in the Joe Jimma Stakes, and the horse finished 5th by 41 3/4 lengths that day and completely just didn't show up. Was with them early on, but then completely hit the wall. Must have bled out of that run because this horse just didn't show up since then. Coming here, seasonal reappearance. If you take the Joe Jimma race out, I think this horse is a very good runner, and I think he could go up here today. 2 back in the Seeking the Ante at Saratoga, 6.5 on the 27th of August. The horse went by 1 3/4 lengths and didn't break that well, but after that basically went straight to the front end and showed up. A very easy race after all said and done. And then the 16th of July at Saratoga, 5.5 and a maiden special weight for Statebreds, 85 grand. The horse went by 5.5 lengths, a little bit wide, but the horse got the job done quite easily. Ran here in the maiden race Belmont last June, 5.5 in a main special weight, where the horse finished 2nd by neck and just was a little lackadaisical that day, maybe a little bit too fast to that half, but she still ran a decent race. Like I said, I'm going to give her another shot here at 5 to 1. You can't throw out the 2 horse Joe Cuz either. Belmont trained this one for Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz gets some mounts. The horse's most recent outing in the New York Stallion, the horse lost all chance at the beginning, completely missed the break, almost fell to her face. But if you take that race out, she hasn't run half bad at all. She won the Eastview, the Mattie May, the New York Stallions for $500,000 in December at Aqueduct. She's training well. If she breaks, it wouldn't surprise me if she goes wide to wire. We'll use her in the multi-race, but I think November Rain is on a horse you want to keep an eye on. To recap my selection for the 7 from Belmont, it's Bouwerie. Let's take the 1 horse November Rain. Give kudos to the 2 horse Yo Cuz. 1, 2, 3, 5 super. 1, 2 in your multi-race. The 8th race from Belmont, it is the Mike Lee Stakes. It's going for a purse of $125,000. Race for 3-year-olds and Statebreds. Field of 9 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Belmont main track. Why do I keep saying Aqueduct? 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs, Belmont main track. Reason I keep saying Belmont is because I've been looking at a lot of Aqueduct races for these replays for a lot of these horses. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 2 horse Best Idea. Let's go 2, 4, 5, 3 in the superfecta. 2, 4, 5, 3 super. Top selection of 2 horse Best Idea. 3-year-old Ridgeling by Honor Code. Tom Pletcher trains. John Velazquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 1st of May at Belmont. Miles 16th in a State Run allowance race, 80,000 on 1X, and the horse finished 2nd by a head. Didn't break so well. Had a little bumping early on. Was dueling on the front end. Just couldn't get there late, but still ran his heart out to a mile 16th race. Cutting back to 7, where this horse probably doesn't need to lead. His buyer's up the scratch, and I think he really won a good race here today. 2 back ran the Damon Runyon at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs on 13th of March. He finished 4th by 8 1/4 lengths that day, and he sat back early. He quickened up a little bit, but the 3 in front of him were just a little bit better than him. And then prior to that, I mean, especially at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs, 12th of February. He won by 5 1/4 lengths, and on the front end all throughout, it was a very clear, easy race. He's training well. At 5 to 2, I'm going to give him a shot. Give a shot also to the 4 horse Tin Pan Alley. Manny Franco's on this one for Chad Brown. His horses only start twice, few and far between races, but always run these good races. Most recently at Aqueduct, 6.5 in the main special weight for 70,000. The horse went by 2 1/4 lengths, and 13 other rivals that day. But this horse stalked, slowly moved his way up, got the lead, and then took off clear. But that was a very good return to the races. races. Prior race was the 1st of August at Saratoga, 6 furlongs and state bred main special weight 85,000, where the horse finished second by 2 1/4 lengths and completely missed a break that day, which cost him, but was really gaining ground late. I didn't think it was a half bad race after all said and done. Keep in mind the 1, 2, 3 out of that race, and quite a few other horses have all won next start out. But this horse is training well. At 7-2, I definitely use in your late pick 5. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Belmont, it's the Mike Lee. Let's take the 2-horse best idea. Give kudos to the 4-horse Tin Pan Alley. 2-4, 5-3 Super, 2-4 in your multi-race. The 9th race from Belmont. It is the Kingston Stakes. It's going for a purse of $125,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards, state breds here. Field of 8 horses going to the inner turf course this time. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the mile 16th trip on the Belmont inner turf course. 1,700 meters, mile 16th here in the Kingston. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse City Man. 2857 for me in the superfecta. 2857 super. Top selection, 2 horse City Man. This 5-year-old horse by Mucho Macho Man. Christophe Clement trains. Joel Rosario gets the mounts throughout the most recent race at Belmont. 7th of May, yielding soft, heavy turf course. We probably call it. They would call it heavy in the UK and in France, but about a mile and 1/8 in the 4 Marcy Stakes, and the horse finished 4th by 18 lengths. You had to be on the front end that day. This horse wasn't handling the going, didn't break that well, was very wide, and just wasn't his day to win. With a firmer track against Staybreds, I think the horse is in a better spot to win. 2 back, the horse ran the Dangerous Hour at Aqueduct 1 mile on the 9th of April, and the horse won by 2 1/4 lengths. From a track and position, this horse quickened up a lot and got the job done. 100 buyer, tied best of the career for this horse, and then before that, the horse ran the 5th of December at Aqueduct, mile 16th and opposite 100. The horse finished second by half length, was dueling on the front end, just couldn't get there late, but still ran a good race behind Bodie Cream, and then before that, in the Mohawk at Belmont, mile 16th on 6th November, the horse finished third by 3 lengths there, and just was a little bit wide, but was gaining a little bit late. If you look at some of the races last year, this horse always was running these good races. Won the West Point over the summer at Saratoga. Was facing tough horses at the beginning of the season last year, but since coming to the turf, this horse has really, showed some potential. 5-2, we're definitely using this horse, along with the 8 horse here, Step Dancer, 12-1. They most recently ran the horse in the Jockey Club Derby, where he lost behind Yabir, your eventual Brewers Cup turf winner. This horse finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths and just never really showed up. Before then, the New York Stallion Series, Saratoga, a mile and 8 turf course. The horse from by not closing up from nowhere. I thought the horse ran a good race, and then ran in New York Stallions in June here last year, finishing second by length again. A little bit wide, but was really closing up well late. A better trip probably would have won, but this horse is a deep closer. Deep closers don't normally win going a mile 16th here at Belmont on the inner turf course, but I think you'll see a good pace to close up with. At 12-1, we'll give this horse a shot on the multis, but to recount my selections for the 9th from Belmont to Kingston, let's take the 2 horse City Man, give kudos to the 8 horse Step Dancer, 2857 Super, 28 inner multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.